Hello, Anna Hernandez here. For my history oral project, I interviewed Michelle. I had previously known that Michelle was involved in gymnastics as a young girl, but I was not aware of her experience in the sport. Through interview and listening to her story, I realized that based on her experience, she did not meet the description of Jamie Schultz as a young female athlete who struggled in the sport. I also found it interesting that Michelle's experience in gymnastics could have not could have been highly affected by her upbringing as she was adopted from the Philippines. Michelle described her experience in sports as something she enjoyed and that her parents supported her through. The support her parents provided was due to her socioeconomic status, and they were able to afford to pay for gymnastics. They were also able to take time off when needed to support Michelle, as other parents of working class do not have the luxury to let their children participate in sports due to the cost and lack of transportation and resources. What I found the most interesting about Michelle's experience was her lack of knowledge of how privileged she has been. She acknowledged how devoted her parents were to being there and paying for her participation. But during the interview, I asked questions to try to invoke any acknowledgement that she was fortunate. I felt like she did not realize how privileged she was to have had that experience. A lot of academic research focuses on the differences between young children of affluent parents and lower working class parents. Affluent parents obviously have an advantage as they are able to provide the extracurricular activities for their children easily, while lower working class parents who struggle to provide the essentials and to survive could not afford to pay for sports or take time off from work to be there for their children. Based on the research I came across for this study, I believe more information needs to be collected to study the perception of young children in sports. Michelle's lack of knowledge regarding her favorable situation is interesting and worthy of further study. She comes from a situation where her life could have gone either really bad, as she could have been raised in a third world island where gymnastics and resources were very limited. However, due to fortune, in my opinion, she was able to come to America and experience firsthand what it was like to live in a middle class suburban city where she had access to those things. Fortunately for her, she never really has to know what it would have been like to not have those experiences. But I believe it would be a very interesting study as it would help maybe understand more for women on how to appreciate the struggles that have been experienced to get women to participate in sports. Her story is interesting as it doesn't sound as she can acknowledge that she went through any difficulties, any struggles, but as this class has shown, women have had to struggle with titles, with oppression, with harassment, and I believe that it is worth looking into, and I hope that my research project gave a little bit of insight into that. Thank you so much for your time.